Hi everybody, this video will be a little bit different because it's December. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of last winter when I was stressed, sick and lonely. I even thought that I catch the cold for a second time, but thank God I didn't. Then I remembered that in October 2021, when I was at the local anime festival here in Copenhagen, I saw a character on a manga cover who intrigued me, and I couldn't forget him. Only last December I decided to find out what manga he was from. Nice thing is that it was quite easy to find the source material solely based on the character's design. And the manga is called Which Hat Atelier. I have it here. So as you can guess by now, in this episode will be about a specific manga. Because why not? Now it's too late to stop me. And I don't have many weeb friends whom I could discuss it with. Nobody in my environment knows about this manga, even my internet friends. That's why I came here. I'll try really hard to do it without spoilers, but cannot guarantee. Let's say there might be a slight presence of spoilers. As I mentioned earlier, I started reading it last December when I was sick at home and I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't meet anybody, so there was nothing else to do but to read manga or watch anime. But at the time I didn't know what to watch and I wasn't even sure if I would be able to because of how I was feeling. So I decided to give a manga a go. And I'm glad I did, since Witch Hat Atelier is cozy, funny, heartwarming, and easy to read. It has such a hygge mood, as Danes would say. Only lately it started taking more pessimistic tone, but just slightly. I do hope it will become darker though. In case of people who don't know this manga will watch the video, I will give a brief synopsis. I don't want to tell the whole plot, so I will just describe the main idea. The story lies within fantasy, action, comedy, slice of life genres with a little bit of drama. Basically, it's a story about people and witches who are believed to be born with magical powers and who use those powers to help ordinary people, to save them, to serve royalty, and to make the world a better place. Of course, as it is in every story, there are antagonists and villains who disagree with the laws that state that we can use magic only in a specific way and only for specific reasons, so we try to fight the system. That's a simple story so far, but that's exactly what I needed back then. I think I wouldn't be able to appreciate more complicated story, but now I hope it will have more politics, lies, depths, surprises, and unexpected events. At least it slowly moves into that direction. Oh, one more thing about the rules in this world. There is a law that forbids to cast spells on people, other witches, or living creatures in general, but only those spells that can affect the body or change its structure, such as healing spells, transformation, any kind of fusion, and many others. Oh my, and I love this law, because usually, I would even say, almost in all stories where there's magic or any kind of superpowers, the magic is used as a cheat code. And I hate it. This is one of the main reasons why I don't like fantasy that much. I mean, I still watch it, but often I get annoyed that characters can find a spell for anything and get out of the situation without any real consequences. Like, oh no, I need to defeat this undefeatable boss, how can I do it? Ah yes, I can use this motherfucking fireball that destroys everything. No, fuck this, make it difficult for characters. Or a character has broken arms and ribs and is bleeding, do you think I will let him be in such a state until he recovers? Of course not, because why would they if there is a healing spell or a fucking regeneration? Or a character can even lose his arm and get back to normal, like nothing has happened. Or he can even die and there will be a friend sing nonsense like, oh, let's revive him, only he can save our world. No? No? If you die, you're dead. I don't want to see characters coming back alive if they actually died. I want to see the world with real consequences and without stupid cheat codes. I want to see characters suffer. That's why I'm glad that society in which Atelier has the law forbidding this stupid shit. Because we are smart people, we know what we are doing. Okay, I know, I need to stop ranting about fantasy and magic and how we use them stories. Why I chose Witch Hat Atelier? I didn't know anything about this manga when I first saw the cover, but a few things made it stand out. One of them is an art style. When I first saw the physical book, I didn't look inside, but even judging by the covers alone, I could tell that the art style is fantastic. It feels so light, so soft, and at the same time, it's detailed and not too stylized. Normally, I don't like when it's too cartoony and hyperbolized, when characters have eyes bigger than their brain. Do you know what I mean? I hope it makes sense. And the art style of Witch Hat Atelier associates with historical books and fairy tales, and it makes manga even more appealing. Another thing that made me want to read the manga is the character, specifically Kifri. I like this design, it's so simple yet memorable. Now that I think about it, I understand that it happened because Kifri reminds me of my own original characters whom I created for this BCRPGs. He has the same vibe. He is smiling, kind, funny, awkward, innocent looking, but with a deadly claws that can easily kill you. Kifri is portrayed as empathetic, moody and impulsive character with a dark past, but he is not always honest and sincere as you would expect him to be, as he is a mentor figure in the story and plays a role of reliable, strong-willed and a good witch teacher. But when you see what he lies and acts as a hypocrite, and I like that about him because it makes him real and unpredictable. And by the way, even the hairstyle is kinda similar to one of my elitist character has. Kifri definitely has a great style. This way I felt a personal connection with one of the main characters of Witch Hat 3, and that's why I felt a craving to get to know his story for more than 2 months. Actually, I don't know why it took me so long to read it, but oh well. I think that his resemblance of my character could give me an inspiration and ideas how to build stories for my own characters with similar traits. Of course, I didn't plan to copy tropes from the manga, that would be too boring and predictable, but I could immerse myself into a story way better than it would have happened without an emotional attachment. For Kifri, I could feel my own character, and I get a chance to see him from a different angle and in a different setting. I didn't understand that when I chose the manga, but now I do. Actually, there are a lot of amazing characters. Besides Kifri, I like his friend Olugio. He has contrasting traits. He is introvert, often quite gloomy, tired and reserved. I think it allows to create a bunch of goofy scenes. They are my favorite, and makes yours two wishes look perfect together. And all the girls, I mean Kifri's apprentices, are cute and clever with their own flaws and problems. Only Teti needs her arc. I think she's missing an arc because she's the only one whom I don't know well. They weren't shown her past, her family, her complexes and fears. Speaking of other characters, I imagine that many people won't like so-called Knights Morales because they're the pain in the ass, but I do enjoy reading about their skirmishes with Kefri. For those who don't know, Knights Morales is basically a police in sport. Those guys and girls in black and red clothes. We take care of creatures who misuse magic or create illegal artifacts, and you don't want to get in their way, because we won't only kick your ass, but we also are capable of raising memories. And by doing so, we put magical abilities too. This way, it just becomes an ordinary peasant. I wouldn't want that to happen to me, that's for sure. I would like to know them, each of them better, and to see how did they end up in the Witches Police, and where their paths would lead. They already lost one Knights Morales member. Honestly, I think it happened too quickly. Okay, now what I didn't expect to find in a manga are kinks. But not so fast. I'm not talking about typical kinks you would think about when you hear this word. I'm talking about the scenes which I personally found kinky. Specifically, there are a few hurt comfort scenes where Kifei gets hurt and then is comforted a couple of times, but not in a sexual way. I wish her that, don't get me wrong. I feel aroused when characters get hurt, especially physically. Does it make me a sadistic person? In my defense, I'll say that I prefer comforting scenes more, but it definitely feels much more intimate when a character gets hurt or sick. I love when strong characters show vulnerability and get accepted and taken care of. Often such scenes are touching, or silly, or both. Maybe because for me it's unbearably difficult to show vulnerability. Anyway, how would I rate the manga? I would say, for me it's 8 out of 10, at least for now. Obviously it can change, but right now I'm confident in giving it an 8 for all the things I mentioned in this video, such as the atmosphere, likable characters. Kifri, he's my favorite in the manga. Also for fascinating art style and page layouts, for the world in general and the rules characters must follow, as well as for the kinky and goofy scenes, and of course for the fact that story slowly moves towards the darker direction. Those are the main things I liked in the manga. If you know manga or anime that reminds you of Christmas, not necessarily about Christmas, but the one that gives you Christmas vibes, please feel free to suggest it in the comments. I'll read it or watch it during my Christmas vacation. Bye!